Hey guys, Eric Martel here. 5 years ago, I sold my house to invest in real estate and I instantly became financially free. I'm never gonna own a home again, and neither should you. You should rent your house instead of buying it. And I know it sounds crazy, but stick around, I'm gonna show you exactly why. Make sure you like and subscribe because I'm gonna give you real tips about how to achieve financial freedom that some of the gurus out there are not gonna tell you about. So why should you rent instead of buying your home? This sounds absolutely crazy and it goes against the American dream, doesn't it? So when people are trying to decide whether they should rent or buy, they normally look at kind of like how much it costs per month. So they would look at how much it costs in mortgage to buy their property versus the rent in the area. But this comparison is not correct, and it's forcing you to make the wrong decision. And the logic is flawed for two reasons. One of them is unrecoverable costs, and the other one is opportunity costs. And I'm gonna show you how they fit together. Unrecoverable costs are costs that are paid towards services that have no value that's gonna remain for the rest of the life of the property. Examples of that are utilities, property taxes, HOA or condo fees. So all of these costs, they don't add value to the property. They're just there just to allow you to live on the property. And the importance of these unrecoverable costs is that you want to put them as part of your calculation when you're comparing owning a home versus renting a home. Opportunity cost is a little bit different. It has to do with how you use that money that you would normally put towards the down payment. People often disregard this as there's no other alternative for investing that money, but there are. So when you're buying your house or your condo, you have to put a significant amount of money down. When you're renting, that money is available to you and you could invest it. And this is what people sometimes don't add in the calculation, is the additional revenue that you could be making by investing that down payment. So and the reason why I'm telling you this is that there's a better way for you to invest that down payment to build passive income to help you pay for your rent and eventually achieve financial freedom. So why you should never buy your primary residence again is that renting is a better way because it has less unrecoverable costs and you're able to leverage your down payment to invest and build in passive income. And the opportunity cost of not investing that down payment into rental property is the reason why you should never buy your home again. Just to be clear, I'm not saying don't invest in real estate. I'm not saying don't buy a house. I'm saying it's financially smarter to buy a house that you're gonna rent out. So you may be doubting me, but I'm gonna show you an example that's really gonna highlight why it's important and why it's better for you to rent. So let's pretend that you're looking at a $1 million condo here in LA that I actually looked at on Zillow, and the mortgage for that particular property is $4,000. The same property in that building, that same condo, rents for $4,000 as well. It's actually a little bit less, but that's for the sake of the argument, let's pretend that that rent is the same. So in most cases, people would look at these two, mortgage and the rent, to be equivalent, and then they would go and choose to buy that condo instead of renting because they would think that they could take advantage of appreciation and all of that, and they own their home and all that kind of stuff, and they don't want to be a tenant. And what these buyers don't realize is that they have to put $200,000 down and sit on it for the next 30 years. Wherever the renter with that $200,000 could be invested in rental properties that would also appreciate and provide positive cash flow. So let's look at the unrecoverable costs for the buyer of that condo. So first, they're gonna have to pay property taxes. Around here, it's gonna be about $1,000 a month. They're gonna have to pay HOA or condo fees, I'm assuming $500 a month. They're gonna have to make repairs and maintenance to the property just to keep it in good shape. I'm assuming another $500 a month for that. Instead of $4,000, now that total cost of ownership is $6,000. You can see how much difference the unrecoverable cost makes when you're comparing it to the renter. So as a renter, I don't have to pay property taxes. I don't have to pay repairs or maintenance. I just call up the property management company and they come and fix things. I don't have to pay condo fees or HOA fees. I just pay my rent. But my whole rent is unrecoverable cost. I don't get any value out of that. And this is where people are kind of get stuck in. So it's not really comparing 4,000 to 4,000 anymore. On the buyer side, that doesn't include any money for renovations or anything like that, changing the kitchen, the bathroom, or anything like that, which is also one of the main reasons why people are buying a property instead of renting it. For me as a tenant, I basically, if I want to renovate, I basically change apartment or rent a new house. So when we're looking at our renter and our buyer, they're living in the same building. They're living in the same type of condo, the same square footage. Everything is the same. Our renter is paying $4,000 a month, and our condo owner is paying $4,000 in mortgage plus another $2,000 in various fees and property taxes, etc. But let's talk about the opportunity cost here. Not only is our buyer paying more per month to live in that same condo that our renter is paying $4,000 for, they also had to pay $200,000 in down payment for the privilege of paying extra. So what happens to that extra $200,000? On the buyer's side, that $200,000 is a down payment on that property, but on the renter side, it's still sitting in the bank. And our renter is gonna invest that money in rental properties. So what is our renter doing with that $200,000? They're investing in single family rental. And in fact, with that $200,000, they can buy 8 single family rental in the Midwest, the same places where I invest. They put their $25,000 down payment, and then they're able to cash flow $250 a month for each of the properties. Times 8, that's $2,000 a month that's coming into the pocket of our renter, something that's not happening on the buyer side. How do you get a house like that? Can you do that? Is that possible? Yes, you can. And we're investing in these kinds of properties every day in the Midwest. But you're probably saying to yourself, but Eric, you forgot to include appreciation and principal pay down. Well, I haven't. The buyer, yes, you're right, is doing principal pay down. Every time they pay their mortgage, it actually reduces the amount of principal they have, but also there is appreciation on that condo that they've bought. But on the renter side, it's similar. They have invested in real estate. Their single family rental is also increasing in value. Their principal pay down is also happening on the 8 properties that they purchased. And in fact, the nice thing about it is that they're not even paying the mortgage. The tenant is paying the mortgage for them. And this is why they're getting some cash flow. So over the years, that $2,000 a month in net cash flow adds up to $500,000 after 20 years. And remember, I'm assuming that this net cash flow is just sitting in their bank account and not being invested in anything else. A normal person would obviously take that money and invest more in more rental properties. So it's clear that you're making a lot more money by renting your home and investing in rental properties than buying your home and then putting your down payment towards that purchase. What does this all mean? It means it's better to rent your home than buy your home. The main reason is that $200,000 in down payment, if you're a renter, can be used to acquire single family rental, build the same amount of equity, and then on top of that, get positive cash flow to you every month. And that really adds up. I know you're gonna call me crazy. I've heard it before, but run the numbers. And I know everybody is talking about the American dream of owning your home, the picket fence and all of that. What I'm suggesting is rent that home, build the picket fence, and you can rent your American dream. Regardless of what your financial situation is, you should always think of yourself as an investor, a real estate investor, whether you're buying a home or whether you're interested in rental properties or whatever. Always think of it as an investment, and then as an investor, make the best decision for yourself. Just because nobody told you that renting was better than buying doesn't mean it's a great idea. So let me be the first one to tell you. Stop dreaming. The numbers don't lie. Wake up to the numbers. Make sure you like and subscribe because we're heading into some very uncertain times right now. You want to do your research. You want to think creatively in order to position yourself for success. Thank you and goodbye.